Today I want to talk to you about how to make low FODMAP food tasty. My name is Suzanne Perezzini and I'm the author of 2 low FODMAP cookbooks and the creator of 2 low FODMAP coaching programs. Many people seem to think that the low FODMAP diet is a diet without flavour, and they couldn't be further from the truth. If you were a good cook before, you'll be a good cook afterwards. If you weren't very good at cooking, then nothing will change. Now, how do you add flavour to your food? Well, let's start with herbs. Most herbs are permitted on the low FODMAP diet. Obviously, we don't eat a whole bunch of parsley or coriander. We're just chopping up like a tablespoon, putting it into a dish. But any of those fresh herbs, or even dried, like parsley, coriander, thyme, rosemary, tarragon, all those main ones are absolutely fine to use in your dishes. Now also you can use spices. They've recently tested a whole lot of spices and they're all fine. Now they do say under 1 teaspoon, but that's okay. You normally only put a teaspoon into a dish that you would be serving to 4 people, so you're going to be well under that limit. So any of those main spices and even some of the more exotic ones are absolutely fine. Also, you can get flavour through sauces. We're allowed soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, fish sauce, barbecue sauce, mustard, and many pickles. You've just got to make sure, of course, that there's no onion or garlic in them. So again, no excuse. I make my own tomato sauce just to make sure that it doesn't have any of those high FODMAP foods in it. And that's simple enough. You're just boiling up a few ingredients, some tomatoes, canned tomatoes, and some flavours in there. Now with the spices, in particular chili, just be careful with that. It is low FODMAP, but if you have any reflux at all, then that could cause you problems. If you have reflux, leave that out and just go a little bit easy on the spices. Now the last thing I want to talk about is how I create a base to many of my cooked savoury recipes. Like normally you'd cut up garlic and onions and fry that off until it was clear, and then go ahead and brown your meat, etc. Well, obviously we can't use onions and garlic, but we can use spring onions, the green part. So that's what I always use to give the onion flavour. Chop that up. You can do the same thing with the green part of leeks as well. I also chop up a little bit of celery, just to give a little bit of sort of soft crunch in there, and use that in my base. And when I put the oil into my pan to cook that off, I put a teaspoon of garlic infused oil, and that gives the garlic flavour. If I'm wanting to kind of lift the flavour even more and go perhaps towards a Thai type of flavour, I add in a red chilli, take out the seeds, chop that up finely, and also just a knob of ginger, and I grate that into the dish. And that gives a wonderful base for anything that you want to create, whether it's a stew or a soup or any other dish at all. So again, there is no excuse for not having flavour in a low FODMAP dish. Good luck with your cooking, and goodbye.